Toastmasters speaking adventure, also by giving his icebreaker speech, and he's been in the club nearly a month. He joined Toastmasters in part because he sends his employees to Toastmasters as part of their training for future leaders, and he wanted to experience Toastmasters for himself. He teaches career training programs for Flat Electric where he works. He is known as Professor Suds in his beer brewing classes at the National Gallery. So a guy I need to get to know. He is also an outdoor emergency medical care instructor. Please help me welcome Steve Olson with a speech entitled, "It's a Lifestyle, Not a Living."
I find myself here today, and as I grow older, I'm finding, I look back and see some of the things that, I never thought I'd see. My daughter just had a grandson. My son's growing up, my daughter's growing up, and I look at where they're at in their lives, and I think, let's take a look back where they came from. And so I stepped back. I came from a traditional Norwegian family in Seattle, Washington, Ballard of all places, Fisherman's Terminal. My grandfather was a commercial fisherman. I have 10 uncles, 9 uncles and 2 aunts, and one was adopted. It was a friend my dad brought home, but huge family. And I look back at that and I think of times when there were fish that were as big as this table, as big as I, that came off the boat, and we butchered these halibut, and everybody would take pieces of fish home. I thought that was so normal. People would say, I said, well, we have halibut for dinner. What's that? So come on, come home for dinner. You'll love it. But my dad was from Norway. My mom was from Norway. They both came to this country and immediately fell in love with the mountains of the Cascades. I grew up in the Cascades. I couldn't tell you what the first pair of shoes I had, but I can tell you the first pair of skis I had. They were cross-country skis. And there was a golf course. My dad had me out there when I could hardly walk, and I was in cross-country skis. That was his entire life. He trekked everywhere. He is a trekker of I can't keep up with him. He's in his 80s and he still does it.
Wow.
I kind of fell to the other side where gravity's my guide. I like to go downhill, and we'll talk about my kids. They're in a whole nother world. I went to school, grew up, got to, I think I was in 12th grade, in about this time of year, maybe a little before, and they said, you can leave. You've got all the credits you need. And that was the worst thing they could have ever told me. I could leave at ski season. My parents had given me a brand new car for graduation from high school. I immediately parked it in my dad's construction lot and stole one of his vans, loaded it with everything I thought I'd need, and headed for Colorado. I did that for 8 years. I came back and had to work. You do have to work, so I worked, my dad was an electrical contractor, so I did electrical work in the summer, but I started getting this twitch about August that I have never been able to get rid of in all these years. I start thinking about skiing, and it just grows and grows and grows. My wife says it's my mistress, my 6-month mistress. She says, you're gone for 6 months out of the year. My grandpa said, I don't want you to be a fisherman. You're gone too much. Well, skiing is the same thing. I got to the point where I couldn't do the mountains forever. I wanted to. I still patrol at Mission Ridge. I've patrolled for over 40 years. It's an interesting skill to learn, taking care of people in the outdoors. I've done every kind of outdoor emergency rescue that you could dream of. Some successful, some not very successful. Have lost a lot of friends to skiing, a ton of friends, especially in this area. If you've read the papers, you know a lot of them. I look at it's skiing in the snow. We were put on this earth to ski powder snow when you're skiing. And you truly only have so many powder days in your life.
Sure.
You don't know how many of those are. Some people don't get to experience all of them. I made sure I got every powder day I could ever get. And when you do that, it puts you in an interesting situation. You never know when it's going to happen. You know it's going to happen. And I can't tell you how many times my son called me from Alta, Utah and said, "Dad, we've got a big cycle coming. 13 hours in the car gone." Straight to Alta to ski with my son. He took the different path. I took gravity. He took free fall. His idea of skiing is free fall. And he hucks himself off of some of the most ungodly stuff in the world. He's a professional videographer for skiing. He is filmed all over the world skiing and that. And now I find myself in the position that my parents were in. I look at my son, I look at my daughter, and I look at my wife. My wife says, "I thought it was a lifestyle, not a living." Both my kids are in the ski industry, but they're finding their way out. My daughter recently has taken a job with the Wenatchee School District. She's out of the mountains. She's worked in the mountains for many years. Her metaphor for skiing was, when in doubt, gas it. She was a racer, and I don't think many people understand what it takes to get to Olympic caliber in any sport. She went through that at about 16. She said, I just want to be a young girl. I like my friends. She lived in Mount Hood for many years and skied all the time. And I really look at that, and I don't regret that my kids found the mountains the way I did. I think it's something that they're going to cherish all my life. They're all their life. My grandson's 1 year old. What do you think he got for his first Christmas? Skis and a snowboard, because we have a conflicted family. We all say we put the fun back in. We try to put the fun back into dysfunctional. So, thank you, Toastmasters.